What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got some football focus. The Pittsburgh Steelers are at it again. They have been very busy. Omar Khan, taking over the GM title for the Steelers this offseason, has been very, very busy. There's been more action in this offseason than I can ever remember following from this team as a Steelers fan, at least in a long, long time. Omar Khan staying busy. The biggest point of this video is the trade that was made today, just a few hours ago. By the time that I post this, it'll be the next day. So yesterday, as you're watching this, Pittsburgh has made a trade for veteran receiver Allen Robinson. I want to get into all that, but I also want to cover a couple things that I didn't get to cover that Pittsburgh has done in the last week or so. I did not bring you guys the coverage of the three other free agent signings Pittsburgh made before today. And so I want to talk quickly about those and what they mean for the roster, for the draft, for their chances to start or play next season, and their impact on the team. So real quick, we'll get to those three guys, and then we'll talk all about Allen Robinson as your main feature of this video. Pittsburgh is keeping me busy. Armon Watts, the defensive tackle, he was our first signing about a week or so ago. It was kind of surprising. I didn't expect to sign Armon Watts. We had just signed Braden Fehoko from the Chargers, so I didn't think we'd sign another kind of fringe backup D tackle, but it's another good depth piece on the defensive line. It's another legitimate nose tackle, big guy, powerful guy, wide guy, girthy guy that is taking up the middle of that D line. And again, is there a reason or space for him with the signing of Fehoko? I don't know, but I think Fehoko was looked at more as a depth piece, where I think Armon Watts, while still probably not going to be a full-time starter, may get more reps and more opportunities to start with injuries and depth than Fehoko will. I think he's probably our best choice at D tackle right now, if considering, I believe, DeMarvin Leal as an outside guy. So if you look at Cam and Ogunjobi on the outside, and then you look at Loudermilk and Leal on the outside, as far as the guy in the middle, right now it looks like Armon Watts is probably your leader in that spot. He's a D tackle, legit nose tackle, big guy. Played 3 years with the Minnesota Vikings, was drafted in 2019 by the Vikings, and then played last year in 2022 with the Bears. He played in 57 games so far in his career. He's gotten 22 starts, and he's gotten 3 forced fumbles, 1 pass deflection, 8 sacks, and 125 combined tackles. One of those seasons was a 5-sack season. So, yeah, 8 total sacks, a pass deflection, 3 forced fumbles, 125 tackles. He's staying busy. He is a good spot starter. He's a good guy that can keep your inside linebackers clean to make plays. He is going to clog the lineup. He's going to aid the run-stopping ability, which Pittsburgh's had problems with. He's going to shore up some tackling, which the Steelers have had problems with for several years now. And he's going to give the inside linebackers a chance to make some plays, some splash plays, which we did not have last year. We certainly lacked that on defense in the last year or two. So this guy's going to be a big tank that's going to kind of remind you of the Hayward kind of thing, or, you know, the other classic inside linebackers like inside D tackles like Casey Hampton, guys like that, big guys who are strong and going to take on double teams and free up the guys behind them to go get the ball. So, again, while not probably a full-time starter, has NFL starting experience, has gotten 5-sack seasons, has a lot of tackles in his career so far, is a young guy, is a strong guy, and is going to be a nice presence for the D-line. We also signed a guy named Tanner Muse. We cut Jameer Jones about a day or two prior, and the conjecture was, we're going to bring in Bud Dupree. He's going to be our new third outside linebacker because, you know, Jameer Jones plays the same spot, and he wears Bud Dupree's number. So that was the whole consideration. That didn't happen. We cut Jameer Jones, who's been in and out of this team probably 3 different times now, had the one really good preseason where he beat out Quincy Roche. Roche is now back on a futures contract. Jameer Jones is gone. We did not sign Dupree. He went and signed with the Atlanta Falcons. They are stacking defensive players this offseason. Good luck to Bud Dupree in his future. I hope he kills it and does amazingly. But we did sign Tanner Muse, who is a former, I believe, Clemson. Is he a Clemson standout? He's been somebody that kind of has that pedigree. Big college, fast guy. Played special teams / inside linebacker in Seattle. He played for, I want to say, 3 seasons. He was drafted in the 3rd round 3 years ago for Seattle. He is insanely fast. I think he was running, high 4.4s maybe even 4 threes. This guy was outrunning skill position offensive players. This guy is an absolute freak as far as his speed. He's insanely fast, and he's got high upside moments. But in those 3 seasons in playing for Seattle, he's only had 1 start and 20 tackles. But the thing that he brings to us, while he's not going to be on the field much as an inside linebacker, because he's probably the number 4th guy on our depth chart right now, I'm probably going to draft a 5th guy. So he's going to wind up being the number 5 fringe guy, but he's probably going to stay on this team at the start of the season as the last inside linebacker because of special teams. This guy is a gunner. He's an ace. He can line up in multiple places. He can block for us. He can go and tackle the guys. He's a really good pursuit tackler on punt returns and kick returns. He is one of the better, more underrated guys in the league for that. And, considering we just lost, where we haven't re-signed a lot of our guys that have been known for that. Miles Boykin has not been re-signed yet. Benny Snell has not been re-signed yet. We just let go of Jameer Jones, who plays that position. Marcus Allen, the inside linebacker / safety, was one of our aces at that. Tanner Muse is going to be the new Marcus Allen. Not going to play very much on defense. Not going to cover much. Not going to be inside linebacker much. But he will be a very good blocker / gunner on the punt and kick defense plays on special teams. So Muse, being somebody who is a 3rd round, high pedigree, good school, fast guy, fits that spot very well and makes up for depth pieces on special teams that we needed to fill. We got another quick signing off waivers here. The punter from the Jets, Braden Mann. This guy, the Jets were not a big fan of this guy. He's had some notably bad punts, but also some good ones. He's had ups and downs, kind of much like Presley Harvin. Now, I am not as anti-Presley Harvin as some of you guys are. I know Harvin is considered one of the worst punters in the league by some of the diehard Steeler fans. I don't feel that way. He's not been consistently as great as you would hope for a draft pick, but he has been pretty solid, and I would say slightly better than Mann. Now, Mann also has had a divisive career so far, but had his ups and downs. He was the Ray Guy winner in 2020, much like our punter Presley Harvin was the following, or 2 years later? I think it was 2022, I believe, or 2021 maybe. I don't know, but both Harvin and Mann now, both are Ray Guy winners, which is the best collegiate punter in the nation. So was the Ray Guy winner. He was a 6th round pick in 2020, and again, punters don't usually get drafted, so if you're drafted a punter, that means something. We drafted Harvin in the 7th round. The Jets drafted him in the 6th round in 2020. His yards per punt right now are at 45.4, which is a decent overall average. The net yards per punt average, which is the punt / what is taken off with what is returned. So it's the punt, where the guy fields it, and then the yards after return, or where they start the average field position. The net yards per punt are 39.5. His percentage inside the kicking inside the 20 is 29.1, so almost 30% of his punts go inside the 20, and he has had 1 punt blocked in these 3 seasons. He is competition for Harvin. Harvin hasn't always been consistent, neither has Mann. Mann needed a fresh start. Harvin needed some competition. This is a win-win. It's gonna be a man-on-man competition. 2 decently but inconsistent punters going up against each other, and winner take all. Best punter wins this preseason. I'm going to predict that Presley Harvin wins. I think he's slightly better than Mann, but neither guy's terrible, and both guys could use the opportunity here, so I don't think it's a bad signing. Finally, today's big trade, the one you guys are all waiting for, Allen Robinson. I was really at first puzzled by this. Before I heard the terms of the trade, I went, what the heck are these guys doing? They're trading for a longtime veteran who was one of the bigger free agent names going into last offseason. I don't really understand this. I get that he's really good, but you obviously have your 2 starters already in Deontay and Pickens. You've got Calvin Austin, who's coming in as a rookie that started off camp last year very good, missed the season with injury, but you're very high on this guy as one of the faster receivers in the league. So to sign another guy is really kind of puzzling because there's not a lot of targets to go around. And if you're going to trade, I think it's a really big mistake if you're giving things up, because the guy just signed a 3-year deal last year for the Rams. So I was really against the deal, thinking it was going to wind up being a 4th round draft pick, because my mentality was, well, yeah, you're taking the wide receiver need off the board if you're drafting him or trading him for the 4th round pick. But I think if you want to get an outside guy in the 4th round, you go after Parker Washington or Jonathan Mingo. Or if you want to get a more sure slot guy that's not coming off injury, you go for Jaden Reed for Michigan State. So you've got healthy young options who are free, basically, getting in the 4th round. So I was against the potential 4th round or something bigger for next year trade until I heard the terms of the deal. Now, here's why I like this deal so much. The trade overall was we received Allen Robinson from the Rams and their 7th round pick, which is pick number 251. And all we gave back in the trade was our 7th round pick, number 234. We still keep our other 7th round pick. So we got Robinson and we swapped 7th round picks. So we literally picked up a former 1,000-yard all-pro receiver to literally essentially just trade back in the 7th round 17 spots. So you swap 7th round picks, you basically trade back 17 spots in the 7th round, you keep all your draft picks, and you get Allen Robinson essentially for free. That is the big positive to this deal, is you're getting a veteran proven receiver who's been around for a long time for nothing. You're just trading back in the 7th and keeping all your picks. That's a really good deal. What makes this deal even better is that the Rams are taking on $10.25 million of Allen Robinson's salary next year. He got signed to basically a 3-year, $45 million deal, essentially about $15 million a year. The Rams are taking on $10.25 million of the second year here of Allen Robinson's deal, which means we only pay $5 million. So again, swapping 7th round picks, just trading back 17 spots in the 7th round, and only paying $5 million, we get Allen Robinson. We can defer that big contract. We cannot give anything away. And if he winds up getting injured this year or underproducing, we can cut him before his $18 million year next year. So we can wind up getting one season out of him and either transitioning on to somebody else or just cutting him, and you're not losing anything. You're getting a proven veteran for nothing. You're spending $5 million, which you would spend on a guy on special teams sometimes for nothing. There's a really, really good deal. Allen Robinson has played 9 seasons so far in the NFL, his first 4 in Jacksonville, which included a really big 1,400-yard season. Then played 4 years in Chicago, where he had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons and 100-catch seasons in Chicago. And then he went on last year to play for the Rams in 1 season. So far in his 9 seasons, he has 528 catches, 6,748 yards, and 43 touchdowns, and 3 1,000-yard seasons. So yeah, Allen Robinson had one really big breakout year in Jacksonville with his big 1,000+ yard season. Really consistent. Even when he wasn't getting 1,000 yards, he was hovering around that 800, 900 yard mark. Went to Chicago, played with Trubisky, who's on our team now. Had 200 catch, 1,000+ yard seasons for Chicago, and then his production went downhill a little bit. Got a little banged up in Chicago. They moved around quarterbacks, did a lot of changing around, got Justin Fields, who has got a strong arm but is not really a passing quarterback and was really just finding himself as a rookie. And then last year went to the Rams, who were just one of the bigger disappointments in the league after they bought the title the year before. So they just really had quarterback fluctuation. Matt Stafford was injured. Allen Robinson got hurt. So the downside to Allen Robinson is only in the last 2 seasons, his last with Chicago and last year with the Rams, he's had 71 catches, 749 yards, and 4 touchdowns in the last 2 years. But what you're getting with Robinson, whether 100% healthy or even at half mass, you're getting a guy that is good in the open field. He knows how to find the open spaces in the field. He's a really, really good hands guy, strong receiver. For a team with younger players and a guy in Deontay who's our veteran who has trouble catching the ball sometimes, Allen Robinson is a really strong hands away from the body guy. He can catch it against the body, but he shines holding his hands out from his body, catching high pointing passes. He's a good high point guy, and he's got very good feet along the sidelines. If you watch him tapping the toes or dragging the feet, he makes really tough sideline catches. He also, in the middle of the field, can slide or jump across the middle for high combat catches. That's going to bail Kenny Pickett out. There's times last year that Kenny Pickett was high over the middle, and that got him in trouble. But you have someone like Freiermuth who's good at catching those kind of passes, and now you got Allen Robinson, who's a really good high pointer with really strong hands, who's good across the middle and good on the sidelines, giving your quarterback room for error and bailing your quarterback out on one-on-one throws. If you look at him being the, either third outside receiver or being the big, tall slot guy, you're looking at a very, very improved Chase Claypool. while Claypool is younger and more athletic at his current age, obviously we see where his career has been projecting to in the past year since the trade. And you look at Robinson, he's a better down the sideline guy. He's a good streak runner. He's a good deep threat, but he's also got much better hands. He's more physical. He's got better footwork. He's better technically, and he can catch tough passes both down the sideline and across the middle. This is a really good added option for the Steelers. And again, it is a high reward, low risk guy. Best case scenario, you're getting a 1,000-yard receiver, even at his age, who can still catch really good balls and can break tackles and get down the sidelines. He's a hard guy to bring down. He adds a big playability both on deep balls and just getting away from tacklers in the open field. You're adding a veteran who could be a 1,000-yard guy who's been a multiple-time 100-catch, 1,000-yard guy. At worst, you're getting a guy who can give you a couple of big plays a game and then slow down, maybe gets injured, something like that. Again, you're not trading anything for him. You're trading back in the 7th, and you're not spending much money on him, $5 million. So you can cut bait after 1 year if you need to. So Pittsburgh, all in all, these are all really good moves. Braden Mann, if nothing else, is competition for Harvin and a potential upgrade to see who wins at punter. You're getting Armon Watts, who's probably our best D tackle on the roster right now, can battle out with Montravis Adams and Braden Fehoko for some rotational spots to push at D tackle. Tanner Muse, one of our better special teams players that we've gotten, and now veteran Allen Robinson, 1,000-yard receiver guy, to be another option, along with the emerging Calvin Austin, George Pickens, Deontay Johnson. You add to that Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, Pat Freiermuth, Connor Hayward. This offense is getting stacked. The trenches are getting better on both sides. The tackling, the line, we're building things up. And I like what Omar Khan's doing. Tell me in the comments below what you think. Do you like this trade? Do you think it was a worthwhile move, or do you think Allen Robinson is washed up? Would you rather us get somebody else? Are there any spots of need that you think we should still get? What do you think about the draft? Receiver probably is now definitely off the board. All those conjectures about Flowers and Smith and Jigba and Jordan Addison, those are gone now. Does Pittsburgh still pick a late-round wide receiver? Should they? Does it matter? Tell me in the comments down below. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like these Steeler Deep Dive videos, and I'll be bringing you guys another one if Omar Khan does not stop making moves. You'll see me again. Take care.